All right, we head down to the Beacon Hill studio and find our heavy hitters.
Now, all three of us, Kim Kerrigan, objecting to what you just did. Cosmo, they come to us with the fat lady in New Jersey, then the seat that's perfect for that big one guy. What are they telling us exactly?
It's so predictable. I mean, it's just so...
Cosmo Macero Jr. Associates, Peter Kadges of the Boston Phoenix. By the way, together I think we beat the woman in New Jersey.
Couple of big guys, right? I get it.
We'll get to her in a second. First, let's talk about the behemoth down in D.C., gentlemen, because apparently we're approaching D-Day. Depending on who you listen to, some Democrats in Congress say, we got the votes. This guy in Connecticut, the fourth-ranking member, says, we got the votes, Obamacare passes at the end of the week. Other Democrats on the Sunday talk show says, we don't have them yet, but we think we're going to get them. Cosmo, is this now inevitable? We are getting Obamacare.
Hey, just, you know what? Pass the thing already, and then let's see what the fallout is. Clearly...
Good way to make legislation, huh?
Clearly, the administration didn't get the message from the election, not getting the message from the American people. I think a lot of people, myself included, are losing track what's in there, in that bill. They're going to push this thing through, and yeah, I think they are going to get those votes, and there's going to be consequences.
Do you give the administration credit here, Peter, because they didn't have the votes, then Scott Brown got elected, and now they have the votes? I mean, they figured out a way to make it happen.
That's if they do have the votes.
And you're not sure?
I'm not sure. Listen, up here in Boston, I've been following it more closely than most people. I'm suffering from brain freeze. I really don't know. Karl Rove says if they do, it'll be a disaster. The other says we've got them. Frankly, I don't think either side really knows. I mean, my advice to viewers is to just block this out of your mind until it either passes or fails this weekend, because I think there's going to be a lot of posturing.
It's not brain freeze after 3 days of torrential downpours. It's wet brain, Peter.
All right, wet brain freeze.
Cosmo, let's talk about the Karl Rove angle to this for a second. Rove says if this does indeed pass and Obama signs it this weekend, which he fully intends to do, that's why he skipped his break, Rove says this will be disastrous for the Democrats come November. You buying that?
Yeah, I think I think it's a very, very risky move. Look, they've made a calculation. Maybe they'll be right. They've made a calculation. It's more important to declare victory on this, even if it's a bad bill, even if it's a bill that there is on both sides of the aisle a lot of concern and consternation about. More important to declare that victory than to listen to the American people, than to listen to the warnings that you can do much better and that there's more issues that need to be addressed before you pass health care.
Is the backroom dealing going to be a problem here too, Peter? Are they going to use reconciliation? The House may never actually vote on the bill. They may only vote on the language of the bill, and that will count for their vote. Is all this stuff going to cost them?
I don't know if all this stuff is going to cost them. I mean, look, the Democrats will be doing with health care what the Republicans did with tax cuts, for example. Does the health care bill have more ramifications? Yes, it does. But I think that this is just indicative of the total breakdown of operations in Washington, D.C. I think it's a mistake to get too focused on the mechanics of it, because look, the mechanics have been broken for years.
In the history of grandstanding down in D.C., anything worse than John McCain this week saying, if they pass this, we will immediately begin proceedings to rescind it. Thanks, John. Thanks for that bold profile.
Yeah, I agree.
You voted for the guy. I just want to make sure.
No, I agree. I mean, I think one more point on this. If there's a silver lining, it may, and this is just speculation, maybe this means that the administration has some data or has some access to information about the economy that we don't know about yet, because they feel, hey, you know what, we've got cover coming here on the economy.
You keep telling yourself that.
You know, and so maybe we can get this done knowing that we're going to get some good economic news.
They better hope so. They better hope so. All right, let's get a little gossipy, gentlemen, because there's women in the news, and we must comment on all of this. Number one, Rielle Hunter back in the news. She's got an interview with GQ where she's posing rather provocatively. She says she's still in love with John Edwards. John Edwards loves her, wants to be a father to the kid. Did you need more Rielle Hunter in your life, Peter?
I did not need more Rielle Hunter. I mean, she's a sad and really pretty pathetic case. I mean, she's clearly delusional, and I think the very fact that we're talking about her is almost a form of exploitation. She needs a lot of time on the psychiatrist's couch.
The only thing more sad and pathetic than her is John Edwards. And in fact, he's exponentially more sad and pathetic than her. Look, I think
I never liked the guy.
I think that this is a woman who is in love. And, you know, that's what this is about. And she has already gone so far into being very public about this relationship that now everyone knows about how she feels. Well, you know what? This happens every day across America in all kinds of relationships. It just so happens that this one is unfolded in front of the whole universe.
Let's put it this way. I don't think there's going to be a country western song written about this one.
Well, let's also look at it this way. We didn't probably need to see her with her pants off as we did. On the other hand, there's Gisele Bündchen, who we have seen many times with her pants off and not complained about it, I'm guessing, Cosmo. However, there's always been that question, if you're Tom Brady, do you ever say no to Gisele? Well, apparently, yes, he does. Because Gisele tells, I think it's Vogue, that she wanted to name their son River. And Brady said, I don't think so. He'll be Ben. Thank you very much.
I think he wanted to name him Greg. And she said, well, slow down, Brady Bunch. I'm going with River. And then they sort of met in the middle on Ben.
He just dropped a slow down Brady Bunch.
Yeah, it's you know, given the foolish name celebrities visit on their kid, River might not have been that bad. But I guess it shows that Tom Brady hasn't completely lost.
Yeah, did Brady at some point say, look, posing with the GOAT was one thing. I can't have my son named River. It's all over at that point.
Plus, you gotta wonder, is he named after River Phoenix, and does that mean something? So, I don't know, my source says he wanted Greg.
Lastly, you know Kim wants us to talk about it, so we must, gentlemen. 600-pound woman in New Jersey wants to become 1,000 pounds. Sushi's one of the ways she's getting there. She says she eats 70 wedges at a sitting. Two things, Cosmo.
I didn't know sushi was a high-fat, high-calorie food.
Apparently, she's going a different way than we would.
Well,
how would you get there, first of all?
If I wanted to hit...
Yes.
I'd probably, I don't know. I guess I keep doing what I'm doing. I'd load up on, probably load up on those...
Linda's Donuts, maybe.
Yeah, right. Linda's Donuts in Belmont. All those, one of those fast food breakfast sandwiches, they pack a big punch. It's like a neutron bomb. You know, you get the sausage, you get the cheese, you get the egg, you get the biscuit. That'll do it. Do 4 or 5 of those a day. You'll be well on your way to gaining 2 or 300 pounds.
She says her online boyfriend is in support of this because, quote, he's a belly man, Peter. Do you consider yourself a belly man? And if so, is there a limit to your belly man love?
Listen, this is a pathetic case. She's never even met her online boyfriend. I mean, this is a woman who...
You're not supposed to meet
I don't know
that
that's true.
I'm not sure. You're not supposed to meet your online boyfriend.
I don't know that's true.
I mean, is someone you email with an online boyfriend? Call me old-fashioned. But look, this woman's putting her life at risk. I mean, it's bad stuff.
Notice he did not deny whether he was a belly man, Cosmo. Cosmo Macero. Cosmo O'Neill and Peter Catches of the Boston Phoenix. They are the heavy hitters. Not quite as heavy, I guess, as the lady in New Jersey.